Hello there! Does your console or laptop also sound like this and gets the neighbors called because they can hear in their apartment? Well, today we are trying to fix that, and I'm showing you why it's not only important to clean your devices but also to look at some other things. First of all, we are taking some temperature measurements. I have a temperature measuring gun here, and I think that's where we are right now. So 51.5 degrees, which is already a good sign, because seeing that the temperature of the exhaust is relatively high, we see that the thermal paste that is on the processor and the graphics for in that case is still working. If you were, for example, only having cool air out of that exhaust, that would mean that the thermal interface material that connects the heatsink that is cooling those components and the components themselves, well, that isn't really working anymore. The other thing why your console might not cool properly, or why the cooling solution might not cool properly, is the heatsink might be blocked or something. So we are going to do both. We are going to clean this thing, and we are going to apply new thermal paste and see what the results are in noise and what the temperatures of the exhaust are if they get higher because the thermal interface material is more efficient, and also if the noise gets lower. And now we are disassembling it. So while I'm disassembling that PS4 Pro, I'm going to tell you why we are exactly doing this. While yes, cleaning electronics is kind of one of the basic things, and you should probably take apart your devices such as laptops, consoles, or anything that has a fan and heatsink inside every 2 to 3 years to replace the thermal compound, or rather to clean the devices off from dust and stuff. In this case, this console hasn't been open, well, ever, and you can see that by looking at the heatsink, which has quite a lot of dust in it, and that's the reason, or one of the main reasons, why this console is getting very, very loud and also shutting off in the summer. We have winter now, so it's not that bad of an issue, but it still gets very, very loud, as you could see in the beginning of the video. And yeah, the other thing we are doing is replacing the thermal paste. Generally, manufacturers look at thermal paste in a way so that it lasts the longest time possible. So it will still have some kind of thermal conducting ability, but it first of all degrades over time. So after, like, I don't know, 8 to 10 years or however long that has been on there, it's kind of gotten a bit dry, and it doesn't transfer the heat from the CPU and GPU to the heatsink as efficiently, and that's why we are applying new thermal paste, or rather first cleaning it off and then applying new thermal paste. In this case, we are using Arctic MX4, which is supposed to be good for about 8 years. I don't know how that actually applies, but in my experience, it holds up pretty well even throughout the years. It doesn't really matter if you put on too much, just make sure it is enough and you cover the whole die so that you don't get any hot spots, and any excess will squish out the sides, because thermal paste in most cases is not electronically conductive. There is no harm in using too much, except you are going to make a bit of a mess, but that's not too big of a deal. Then we'll just put everything back together and test if we actually did something, and you're going to be surprised how much better it actually is, because in this case it was actually very dusty, and also the thermal paste probably helped to make the PlayStation a lot quieter. This is the same case for most devices like laptops and stuff. So you can apply this to any electronic device that uses a fan and or a heatsink, so that pretty much gets hot and can get loud. So yeah, you can quieten down a lot of stuff. Obviously on PCs, this is also the case. So now for the after.
So this is the noise now compared to my voice.
Temperature wise, we are seeing a lot higher temperature as well. This is due to the thermal paste being more effective, obviously, and 71 degrees is a lot higher here, or 73 even. That's it from me. I wish you a nice day and goodbye.